In this lesson, we are talking about how the web works. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens the moment you type the address of a website into your browser and hit enter. As part of this, we are going to talk about a few important concepts and terms you need to know as a web developer. Imagine you are sitting at your computer and you want to learn about programming. You decided to use your web browser, let's say Google Chrome. Now, the address in your browser's address bar is called a URL, which stands for Uniform Resource Locator. It's a way to locate resources on the internet, such as web pages, HTML documents, images, video files, fonts, and so on. So, we type the URL of a website and hit enter. What happens now? There are two pieces involved here. The browser, also called the client, and the computer or computers that host our target website. We refer to these as web server or servers for short. This is what we call the client-server model. The client requests the service, the server provides the service. So, our browser sends a message to the server. This is similar to how you send your friend a text message. You can think of your phone as the client sending the message and your friends as the server receiving the message. In simple terms, HTTP is a language that clients and server use to talk to each other. It's not a programming language, it's just a plain textual language for communicating over the internet. We also have HTTP, which is HTTP with encryption, so the message exchange between the client and the server are encrypted. Here is a simplified example of an HTTP message. With this message, the browser tells the server what it's looking for. So, on the first line, it says that it wants to get a page or a file called index.html using HTTP version 1.1. In index.html often represents the home page of a website. On the second line, we see the host, that is tapthecode.com, and on the third line, we can see the language that the client can accept. Now, don't worry about memorizing any of this. All I want you to understand here is that the message is structured based on the HTTP protocol that client and server understand. So, the server receives this message, it figures out what the client is asking, and then it will send a message back to the client. The first message is called an HTTP request, and the second message is called an HTTP response. Every data exchange using the HTTP protocol involves two messages, a request and a response. So, what is the response? Here is a simplified example. On the first line, we see the version of HTTP protocol used followed by the number, which is status code. 200 means successful or OK. Right below that, we can say the date and time of the response. Next, we can see the type of the content the server is sending back to the client. In this case, text/HTML, and after that we can see the HTML code or the HTML document that we represent the home page of tapthecode.com. As the browser reads the HTML document returned from the server, it constructs a document object model that represents the element in the document. The browser then renders the web page on your screen, displaying text, images, and interactive element as per the instructions in the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.